Welcome back to Eldeecodes. In this video, we are going to learn about grouping HTML elements. Ensure to watch to the end because we are going to practice some important HTML tags. Grouping HTML related content. Sometimes it is good to group HTML related content or elements. The tag like div and section help create some kind of container for other HTML elements and describe some contents that are related. This is simply saying that div tag and section tag are containers for HTML content. The HTML div tag and section tag. The div tag is used as a block part of web page and don't convey any particular meaning. This is simply saying that not all content inside the div tag are related to a single theme, but have it in mind that it is a container for HTML content. And the section tag means that the content inside relate to a single theme, which is simply saying that all the content you see inside a section tag are related to a single theme. But have in mind that div tag and section tag are container for HTML content. So here is an example of section and div tag and how you can use them. So in this very section, this is header section. You have a div tag which have an ID of introduction, and this section has a class of header. I know you'll be wondering what is class, what is ID. I will explain this later, but focus on understanding what div and section is and how you can use them. So here we have a particular div which contains a header here, an H1 here, and a P tag which says intro to software. Let's discuss the impact of software. This is simply the introductory part of this header and is here in this particular div. So here also we have another div which is saying courses, and inside of this we'll have H2 telling us this is the course outline, and we also have some listed items here. So inside this section we'll have everything relating to this theme header, okay? And that's basically what this section is all about. Same as this, we'll have this section about us section, and inside of it we'll have our story div which simply contains our story and few text in our P tag. And here we also have our another div which has a class of mission, and inside here it contains our mission and few lists, few things we listed as our mission. And in all, you could be able to say that this about us section contains everything about us in this section, and here contains everything about this very introductory aspect of the web page. So that's basically how section works. So everything you see inside a section is related to a single theme, but that doesn't mean that everything you see inside a div is related to a single theme. So we are moving forward to giving our HTML some identity. While it is helpful to group related content or element, it is also sometimes important to give some form of identity. We can add attributes like ID or class to HTML element to identify them. So here we have HTML class and ID. The class attribute is used to identify related elements in HTML. The ID attribute is unique to one element in the HTML. So as you can see here, we'll have a div with class country, and we'll have another div with same class country. And here we'll have another div with ID Niger, and we'll have another div here with ID Benin. So it's actually trying to tell us that a class name can be used by multiple HTML elements, okay? This very class name can be used by multiple HTML elements, and ID name can only be used by one HTML element within the web page, okay? And that's basically all. We are going to practice what we've learned so far. I already have my file open. If you still have this, you can clear it because we are going to practice entirely different thing from what we have here, but we are going to make use of the knowledge we have in the previous class to do this. Okay. So for us not to waste too much time, I'm going to copy and paste. Okay, have header, and here we'll have id of intro. I know you do be wondering, where are we going to use this class and id? Basically, when we start learning our css and JavaScript, that's where we are going to call this very identity to manipulate them to do what we want for us. Okay, so I'm going to pause this video and come back when I finish writing this very thing. As you can see here, I have already put the structure down. It's just to type those tests. Okay, here I've been able to type few of the things we'll have here down here. So here you can see we'll have a very section. When I highlight it, you see where the section ends, and this section has a class of header and it has an id of introduction. Like we said, multiple HTML tag can actually use this class, but each id is uniquely for each HTML element. Okay, and that's basically all for this HTML section and tag. So when we save and open in the browser, you are going to see our intro here, which says intro to software, which is our h1 tag, right? Yeah, here we'll have it as h1. Yes. So, and here we'll have course outline. Okay, before that we'll have a p tag that says let's discuss the impact of software, so which is this. Okay, then after that we'll have another div which we'll have h1 here. Okay, I think I need to change this to h2 so that it's have some little difference in the heading. Sorry. So when you come back and refresh, you could see that we'll have intro to software, let's discuss the impact of software, and here we'll have course outline, which is this, and here we'll have our story, which is this, and here we'll have our mission, which is this. So you can see that this is basically how, oh no, look at what I did. H4, H3, H2, H1. Okay, I think when I refresh, yeah, okay, this is h1, h2, h3, and h4, and that's basically how section and div works in HTML. Okay, I mentioned that we are going to practice few things, and this is the right time we are going to do that. Firstly, we are going to discuss about link. We did it in the previous video, but there are certain things I didn't mention there. So here we are going to practice something in link. So we all know this is how our basic link structure looks like. Then we can actually input the name of the place we want to visit or something. But then sometimes you would want to reference to your internal file. So here we are going to reference to the table file we have in our previous video. So I saved it as table.html. So when I save, okay, I need to add in here view table. When I save and refresh back, I will have this link here, view table, and when I click on this, it's going to take me to that file we created that day. Okay, which is simply how a link works. So this is us referencing to internal file. Look at the table here, table.html, and this is how it is. So we're also going to look up how you could use external link, okay? And I'm going to copy, I think I'm going to use image tag. So how to copy external file. So I have this website. I normally get free images. I think the name is Pizzabe. So when I come here, you right click on the image of your choice and say copy image address, okay? When you copy image address, come back to your file, Command V and save. When you open it in the browser, you are going to see the image here, okay? Like we discussed in the previous video, we need to add some attribute to this so that it will have a definite shape. So here I'm going to add width of 100, height of 100. And when I save, refresh, you can see it has a width of 100. You will be wondering, why is it so big here, and where we'll take the image from? It wasn't that big. That's the original size of the image. So if you don't add an attribute how you want the image to look like, it's going to have the original size of the image, okay? And that's basically all for this. And sometimes you would actually want to open an external tag, but then you don't want it to open directly in your file. Just like this, when we click on this, it opens directly on this very tab we are on. And instead of for us to go back to our previous tab, we'll have to come back here and click on the arrow at the left corner here. But now we want to, when we click on this, we want it to open in a new tab. So this is basically how to do that. So after you've put in your attribute here, which is the href attribute, then we are going to write something called blank. This is basically telling the web browser to open it in a new tab, okay? Sorry, we are going to write target first. Sorry, pardon me. Target equal to blank. There are some few errors I noticed in my slide, but pardon me, okay? As believe you should be able to understand that each time you open your tag, you should be able to close it, okay? So when we save this and we refresh our page, when we click on this, it's going to open in an entire this thing. As you can see, there is no arrow to go back here. It's in a new tab. So when we want to go back to our previous web page, we are coming here, okay? And that's basically how to open your a tag in a different tab instead of the very tag you are on. And we are also going to discuss one beautiful thing, which is mark, okay? You'll be wondering what is mark, but here we'll have this p tag here. And this p tag said Eldeecode existed as a passion-driven initiative born out of fundamental belief in power of accessible education. And we want to mark this very fundamental here. We are going to use the tag mark. And you'll be wondering, what is mark? What is it going to do? Don't worry. So here, when we save and come back here, we'll have this very fundamental being highlighted with yellow. Yeah, this is a default color of mark, okay? And that's basically what this mark does. Maybe if you are writing a blog article or something and at some point you want to highlight something, this mark is a very good tag to use. Okay, there are so many other HTML tag. You can take your time to review and practice along, okay? Because not all the tag, because there are so many, and even if we make video from now to tomorrow, we are not going to touch all the tags. There is also another thing I want us to know. We have actually learned about identity, giving our HTML element identity. We have learned about div and section grouping. We have also notice how to copy direct link, live link, maybe an image link, and use it in our website. Okay, I think we need to also do one more thing. In case you want to visit the this thing, then you have the link over here. So I think this is the website, is open. So here you have their website. Instead of going to html table.html, here we are going to put in their link. So here I'm going to say view under HTML tags. When I save, return back to our code and refresh. When I click on this developer.mozilla.org application I was mentioning to you guys earlier, actually access all of the things you need to know, okay? They have various things like CSS, HTML, and so many others, okay? And one more thing I want us to look into is MARQ. I think that will be the last thing we would look into, then we'll call it a day. I know you'll be wondering what is MARQ, but believe me, you've seen it in so many web application and website, but you don't know how to write it. So here we'll have our HTML that say H1 that say intro to software. So right now I want to add a MARQ here. So the MARQ is like this. Yep, MARQ tag. Then we are going to close it this way, and when we save, we'll come back to our file here, our web page here, and we'll refresh. You are going to see this coming from this very place, okay? Do you see it? This is basically the work of MARQ. There are so many amazing HTML tags that we need to learn, okay? That brings us to the end of this very lesson. Do not forget to like, don't forget to share, follow us for our latest updates.